Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to day 6 of the 12 days of Christmas. I'm going to scrap this photo right here of my grandson Jason and a couple others. And yeah, I decided to make a Grinch for it. However, my brain gave me the silent treatment. I'm still not happy with it, but I went ahead and did it so my layout could make it up before the day was over. It was started yesterday, and I received the photo the night before. And I thought, oh, I think I'll scrap it. I remember somebody asking me to make a Grinch. I don't remember who. I feel awful about that. But somebody asked me to make a Grinch, and when I got the photo, I thought, oh, I could do the Grinch. Well, it was a lot harder to do than I thought. And I was very indecisive. I tried so many things. And I do it in white cardstock so I don't waste my color to start with. And yeah, I punched out a lot of stuff. That little yellow pieces, they're the eyes. In the photo, the Grinch's eyes are yellow. And so I wanted to make them yellow for my layout and, well, for my Grinch. And I use that heart punch there, see it? I cut out the heart, well, part of it, and then I just flipped it upside down and cut around because around the outside edge of the eyes of the Grinch, it's Grinch, the Grinch, it is dark. And so I went ahead and darkened the heart there, and that is the same heart that is on the punch. And then there's the large oval punch and also a petal from a flower assembly Stampin' Up punch and another oval. And I will show the punches. I just forgot all about it. Here is the heart again, and I cut the cleft in the middle deeper because the photo I looked at was from the new animated one, well, newer, 2018 or something, because it did say that when I looked. And it had like his uh, forehead above the eyebrows kind of furrowed. So I wanted to put the ink darker so that it would be lighter right above the eyebrows, which I will have to move the head up just a little bit more. But I'm showing there that's the leaf that I use for the eyes. And then that's the petal I used. Like I said, I remember. And then I used the eyes there and the heart I was deciding on. I decided to use the one from my Martha Stewart punch. It was kind of more rounded, so it made me think of a button nose, and his nose is kind of on the small side for him. And when I was making this head, oh, there's my holly berry punch, and I'm going to punch it out, and then I'm going to trim it down, and I'm making his mouth. His mouth kind of reminds me right above the mouth of a cat, so I thought I'd make it with that. And then instead of using the red, I'm using like a burnt orange kind of color because the thing I was looking at, he was kind of burnt. It was kind of a burnt orange. And it's that round circle over there to the left. And then I'm going to get it all together. And remember, I planned on inking the bottom part of it because the bottom part of his lip looks kind of shiny. Well, I didn't get it inked as much as I would have because I'm going to glue it on there first. And now I don't remember what I was talking about. But I made his head. I think it was something like that. I made his head thinking that's all I was going to put on the layout. But at the very last second, I decided to go ahead and add a body. And I thought, well, I don't have enough room for that size of head, but I'm not going to make the head again because that's what took me so very long to try to decide on and use what I had. And like I said, I'm not super happy with it, but I'm going with the flow and going with it. And so he's kind of going to be a caricature because his body is not the right proportions at all, but it fits on my layout. Anyway, I put his little mouth there, And I used a branch, and I think I do remember to show it, for his eyebrows. And if you look over there in that little box, I actually used two different branches off the dies that I'm showing. They're kind of all connected. And it's some I've had a while, and so I don't know for sure where I got them, but this one looked, it was looking at all my dies and stuff. It was the one that reminded me most of eyebrows. So I'm using what's like a hunter green for the around the eyes and the eyebrows. This is the small oval, and I'm going to use it for the hat. I'm going to use two of them, but I'm going to cut, well, both of them down with the punch. And that one, I just cut it in half and put it on his head. Well, it may or may not be half. And then I cut the other one down in the opposite direction so I can make the tail end of the hat. And it could be a little bit smaller instead of being the exact same size. I will show the punch I use for this. It's a little tiny one I've had like forever. And I'm just kind of layering on top of each other to make them and to make, well, everything that's trim and white that I make today, that it is going to be with that little flower. As you can see, that arm's pretty big, but I wasn't sure how big I needed it. And I thought, well, I can cut it down. And here I'm putting red on top of the green because I thought I would just have the top half of his little outfit. And I will think about going ahead and having a shoe, and I try to fix it where it kind of pokes out and don't like that. So I end up putting a leg on it. This is for the belt, and I was thinking when I put it on there, I tuck it in far enough, to hide the belt buckle that's, I wasn't going to put on there, which I still don't have one on there, but I keep looking at it thinking it needs it. But I will end up cutting the arm off a little more than I planned. And so the body's going to hang out farther than I intended. So that's why I'm looking at it thinking it needs a belt buckle. Well, right there, my camera had shut off, and I was putting those little flowers on, and I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and finish them, just go from start to end. I forgot. I made the hand and everything. And using that branch there that's on the same little strip as the other one for the eyebrows. And then realized when I went to shut the camera off to move everything around, thinking I would, zoom out, I didn't have the camera on. So I thought, I'm going to have to make the hand again. But the video that I purchased, it showed him like sneaking around. These are two different things I looked at, but my video shows him holding an ornament where he had stolen the ornament, and on Christmas Eve. And I thought, well, I really like that part. That's when I decided I was going to do more than the head, because I got to thinking about that ornament. And I thought, I can put that on there. Surely I can figure out how to do a hand. So I thought about the leaves that were on there when I did the eyebrow, and I thought that one might work. Well, I actually have two that might work. The other one's a little bit different, but this one was longer and more pointed. So I went with it, because his fingers are long and pointed. And yeah, I would have liked them longer, but I couldn't find anything longer. But then I thought, well, it's going to be a caricature anyway, so I'm going to go for it and go ahead and have him holding an ornament. And on the tree that I'm putting on now, I will leave one of the branches that is sticking out there. Uh, had it planned to put ornaments hanging from them, but I'm going to leave one empty so he can steal it and have it in his hand. Uh, and you will see me make a mistake. Well, let's just say I made several mistakes on this layout, but there will be one where I'm like putting my hand against my forehead and hitting it and thinking, How dumb is that? But I will correct it. Uh, those two fingers look like, he was actually pinching something like it does in the picture on my video case, my DVD case. And yeah, those I fell in love with because I thought, oh, those will look like they'll be perfect. And the others I just kind of made fit. I made sure there was a longer one for his middle finger and a shorter one that stuck up. And it is sticking up just a tiny bit because it's the pinky finger, and it looked like that's what it was in the video. And yeah, it looks like he was holding a cup of tea, only he's holding the ornament. I did emboss the tree and I put it on there and forgot to ink it. And I had it planned to ink it so the embossing would show up better. And that ornament is fussy cut, and all the ornaments on the tree will be fussy cut. I did make some and my little tiny bow that I love. I put them on them even, and then I made some smaller ones so there'd be some variety. But they were glitter, and at the last minute, I decided that I'd rather do some fussy cut ones. That's why my layout took so very long. I couldn't make up my mind. Anyway, I fussy cut all the ornaments off of one page and put them on my tree and in his hand. This is a leg, and I know it's kind of bell-bottomed, but I thought I can always cut it down. I want to try it out and see how it looks. And I did freehand cut the foot, and y'all see me tuck it under the edge of there, thinking I just had part of it sticking out, but then I thought, no, that's not going to work. And I used a scrap from a border that I had cut apart, and thought his sock would be, a little bit different from being green and him have a sock on. But yeah, I cut the leg down a little more because once I laid it down there, I thought it's just too bell bottomed. And his legs are so skinny, but then his belly's kind of on the big side. So yeah, I wanted the leg skinny, and I made it about as long as I can make it. And then watching the video, I thought, how guys would stand around with their one knee bent and their toes on the ground and their arms crossed. I thought I could have done that with his leg and made it longer so it wouldn't be quite the caricature, but I'm going to leave it as is. And here's where I noticed my big goof. I thought, well, I had it planned not to have a leg and foot. So I left the belly green. And then I went to put the leg on. I thought, oh, no, if I'm going to have a pants leg, I need a belly that's red too. So I had to take it off and put a red belly on there. And you will see me going back and adding some more white in a few places. The little tiny flowers, because I will notice that they need it. But I won't notice the belt buckle until, well, I'm watching the video. But these are the ornaments, and I see how I left that one open so that he could be stealing that one off of there. And oh, my title's gonna be His Heart Grew 3 times that day. And I made heart bigger since that's the main part of the quote. It's like my favorite quote from the whole thing. And I'll tell you about the picture while I'm probably adding other stuff to the layout. I did put foam tape on them and everything when I fussy cut them out. Things I thought would need foam tape, and I figured I could always take it off if it didn't. But yeah, I put it on wax paper so my actual layout would go faster. But my photo, that's my grandson Jason, and of course Santa. Then if you look in the background by the tree behind them, kind of photobombing, that's the Grinch. And he does have yellow eyes. Well, it's kind of hard to tell in the photo, but he does. And it is also a fun fact, that's my son in the costume. But this was at my daughter's shop, and she had Santa there. And for every day of December, she has a little elf. And well, it's my little elf, but she couldn't find one. Anyway, she has a little elf, and he gives something away to the kids that come in. And every day it's a different thing, and they don't know till she posts it in the Facebook group what it's going to be. But yeah, Saturday was photos with Santa. Santa and the Grinch. Photo bomber, but he is a cute photo bomber, even if he is the Grinch. Um, I'm putting them back together after catching another mistake that needed fixed. And I kept thinking I needed something on the left hand side of my photo. And that's the paper I cut the ornaments out of. And I kept thinking about using the back side, but I didn't want to because I wanted to cut the ornaments out. I finally talked myself into doing it. And I thought, well, at least I got them all on this layout. Most of them, there's a few left, not many. And then I realized I hadn't highlighted my Grinch or anything else. So once I get started, I keep going. I highlight the Grinch, the tree, the shoes, and even the title's going to get a little bit of highlighting. But I was looking at all that red and thinking, oh, I need some there too. So, well, just the word heart. That's all I'm going to highlight. Just the word heart. But, yeah. And then I think I'm done again, and there I go with that little tiny flower. I had to punch quite a few out, and it's tiny, so it's hard to punch out. I didn't want to do it on screen. I felt like I was having to stand on top of it to get it to punch out. But oh, here I kept looking at him and thinking, I wish I could figure out a way to make him look like he's got hair coming out there. And I got to think about the leaf that I use for the fingers, and I thought, well, I had spares. I could try the spare leaves and see how they work instead of die cutting another one. Because, I told you I made it, and then I turned around and had to make it again. So I am using spares that I used before. And yeah, I'm just putting some stragglers hanging out on the Grinch's the side of his head. They don't match at all either side, but I think stuff like that just adds character. But yeah, I'm about done. And whoever asked me to make the Grinch, let me know. And sorry it took so long, but I really wanted a Grinch picture to go with it. And yeah, I have one that I already scrapped. I really need to do a second one from a while back, several years ago. But I really need to do another one. So I might try to find it on the computer and do it too. And maybe change the Grinch a little bit. But there's my tree. And I did use a tiny scrap of wood grain. It was a really rustic one, I think Paper Studio, because it's really thin. And Fussy cut that cane pole with the signs and everything out of its Cartabella Santa's Workshop. And that's where that background paper came from. And I believe that flare came from My Mind's Eye Cozy Christmas. That's what it was. And like I said, I think everything else came from the Cartabella one. But yeah, that's my layout. If you look down there below, you'll see the names of the others that are doing the hop, and you can see what they did today and probably were on time for. And uh, there's my Grinch. And yeah, he looks kind of funny, but he is a Grinch. And that with him holding the little, I needed his little finger to go up a little bit higher, I think, though. Hmm. But yeah, thank you for watching my video. I appreciate it so much. And if you leave a comment down there below, I'll try to get back with you. If you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so much. But have a happy, scrappy day. Take care and stay safe. Hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.